All right, welcome back to the Animal House. I am the big dumb animal, and as usual, we are going to have a little bit of a discussion. So, in saying that, we're going to talk about the couple of comedians slash political commentators that are talking about uh, the president or the presidents, I guess, whether it be the vice or the potential presidency with um, Trump or the actual president with Biden. But first one is Bill Maher, and he's a comedian. He's got a talk show. Um, is he losing his mind? I doubt it. I just think that you know, he's kind of getting to that age. But is he still funny? Sure, he's got some funny points. Um, and he makes a good point with, you know, uh, the men, that, the political kind of wherewithal is still there. Um, it's kind of rather here and there. It's like it's kind of funny to me because like he makes this point about um, like what is this, what is that, like uh, he just kind of hits all over the fucking place, and all of it is negative against Trump, and it's it kind of fucking makes me believe that he's just got so much hate and discontent towards Trump that he's going to buy for the other side no matter what. And then you've got the kind of questions about whether men are automatically subjugated for the draft, and another kind of thing he was talking about with Tulsi Gabbard, and when that women should automatically be into the draft, where Tulsi's like, no, you don't have, that's a horrible idea, that the draft is um, not supposed to have women automatically put into it. Women are supposed to go into it if they want to be, and he's all for it. And Tulsi makes a valid point where it's just like, like the only people that should be told to go to war are the people that want to be there. And that kind of comes down to the fact that if you're going to war, if you're going in the military, you should only be there if you have to be. And in the very few chances that you don't have to be, men should be called up, but that is under a draft period. Now that the draft is kind of coming into question, Bill Maher seems to be all for women being called up, and Tulsi's, as many of you probably know, Tulsi's a member of the military, so she's you know in and she's female. So those of you that didn't know, um, that she's probably the best person to speak of, and he's trying to make this point to her that no, women should be put up for the draft, and she's like, no, they shouldn't be. um, and it's it's just a matter of somebody that's lost so much touch that their presidential stuff is, you know, questionable at best. Their social shit is questionable at best. And what you do find them funny on is, like I've started to think back on things that I found funny about him, and it's been a long time since I found much funny about him. So, take that for what it is. But then Jon Stewart is another person that had stuff to say. And Jon Stewart, I think, is a funny guy. Um, I may disagree with him, not just on this. I may disagree with him on stuff, but you can still laugh at some of the stuff that he has to say. But, um, and especially about politics, like, I think even political views, whether it be Maher or Stewart, that I disagree with, can be funny at times. I just don't see what's going on now on Maher's perspective. There's a lot of humor in it. On Jon Stewart's perspective, I do find humor in it. I just don't necessarily agree with him. But he's got a few things wrong too. But the jokes themselves at this point write themselves. Like Trump has the same things going for him that are funny. Although he was far more measured in this uh, news stratosphere than he normally is, but he's still, you know, Trump. He's still very much Trump. Now, if I had other options, would I find Trump be the person that I would put as the person that I'd want to vote or that I'd want to be president? No, of course not. But anybody at this point in time is better than President Biden. Anybody. I mean, and that kind of comes to the he's jumping all over the fucking place. He's hemming and hawing. He's losing his train of thought. We're talking about Biden for an example in this point. So, what do we take away from this? Well, Biden's lost his fucking marbles. They've got him pumped full of so much, quote unquote drugs or something where he got on there, he was kind of okay, and then he was just fucking out of it. And one of the people is dead between the ears, where the other one is the same as he's always been. So what do we take away from this? Well, the obvious is that we vote for the person that can still make his own thoughts. And, there kind of comes to the chance that, well, there comes a time where we are far ahead of where we normally are when we get a debate between the two primary people. I tried to look it up and see if there was a bunch of people fighting for the position that on the conservative side of the house, and it looks like the Kennedy guy is going and Trump's going. Outside of that, that's it. Now on the Democratic side of things, that's a little bit different. If Trump doesn't stay into place, let's see, we've got Kamala Harris, which there's a whole series of problems wrong with her. I mean, if any of you guys come from the West Coast to know that not only has Biden switched his positions quite a bit since previous to when he was a lower level, political person to when he was VP or the president, she's completely changed her positions too. And then Gavin Newsom, obviously from California as well. Anybody that knows about California or has lived in California knows that the guy can't touch anything without making it cost way more money than what it needs to his ideas of things running smoothly, running appropriately, anything of the sort is just a bastardization of, you know, common thought. Then there's J.B. Pritzker, who is a 59-year-old governor from Illinois. You know, I don't live in Illinois. I don't know anything about Illinois. There's Gretchen Whitmer, which we've all heard the horror stories about her. She's a Michigan governor. She's 52. She's on the short list. And then there's Sherrod Brown, who's a 71-year-old, which would put us right in the same position that we're kind of already in. And then there's Dean Phillips, that is, you know, I don't really know much about Dean Phillips. And he's kind of failed to get anywhere necessarily worth it, but I guess that's rather here nor there. Now, that is just one list of various amount of lists online. I think that honestly, if Biden steps down, or if anything happens to Biden, that puts you know, Kamala Harris automatically in the running, which then, you know, not we, they lose, the left loses altogether, which they're going to lose anyways. So I don't know. I think taking an L would probably be the best way for them to go at this point in time. But they could have Gavin Newsom step in. Now, how they would get that to work, there's a bunch of different ways they could get that to work, to get, you know, Harris to step out, where Newsom gets to step in. But, you know, that's rather here nor there. Now, in saying all that, Jon Stewart and Bill Maher, both very funny comedians, both have, you know, different takes on it. But, you know, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. But hopefully that kind of, it's starting to get pretty sad. But we'll see. We'll keep letting the humor roll in. All right. See you guys in the next one. And like and subscribe.